I keep speaking about money because that's the final bottom line of everything in this life. Once you recognize from energy to matter, as above so below, as the heavens to the earth, then you recognize that the bottom line is earth. The bottom line is material. The bottom line is the root. I only say that not to justify myself, but to always give context. Now you got to understand one thing. Most people are only using money as a means to secure their creature comforts. Meaning they're only using money to feed themselves, to indulge in fleshly behaviors. They're only using money to, like I just said, to secure their creature comforts. Not as a means of production, not as a means of construction. Because once you recognize that money in itself is a tool, capital, it's simply capital, and it gives you the ability, right? It gives you the ability, like this stuff right here, this shit gives you the ability. This shit gives you the ability to make moves. There's only certain problems that can be solved by money. There are problems that money can't solve, which are the problems that we have solved, which is sober, fit, enlightened, actually healing your psyche, actually healing and mending and finding conciliation with your spirit. But there's only certain problems that money can solve. For example, food. For example, shelter. For example, clothing, water, medical supplies, medical attention, and lastly, education. They say it's not a education thing, but it's definitely an education thing, because in this world, to think that education is unnecessary is crazy. But it's a particular type of education which is necessary. It's not formal education. It's not indoctrination. It's not the miscellaneous accumulation of impractical information. But education leads to this, because these are the products of one's own intellectual abilities. This is the product of one's productivity. You have to recognize that money is only a distilled condensation of labor. It's the distillation of your time and your energy and productive efforts, which allow you to purchase the time, energy, or productive efforts of other people. So as we're saying, there's only certain problems that money can solve. Certain problems can only be solved by money, and we got to talk about it. But this is the thing. Most people only use money as a means to secure their creature comforts. Most people only use money as a means to secure their creature comforts. They never use it as a means of creating and building and reinvesting. Research and development are a chief component of any enterprise, and any individual not seeing themselves as an individual organization, as a business. You have to see yourself as a business, and you have to do research, and you have to develop yourself, and that's what the education is. So to do research and to develop requires financial backing, and you're going to understand this one thing before we leave. If you're just gonna have money to eat and then shit out what you eat, or have money to be warm and sleep under a roof with 4 walls surrounding you. I like nice places and nice spaces, but really I'm more of an Einstein, where I can just be a Rolling Stone. All I need is a motherfucker. I don't even need a pillow. I could just lay down, wake up, go back to being productive. Elon Musk and people of that caliber have spent hours sleeping in their office. Instead of wasting time having to travel back to the office, motherfucker just wake up in the office, get back to work, go to sleep, wake up, produce. The word is not work, the word is produce, because a lot of people are doing shit, a lot of people ain't getting shit done, you feel me? So whatever you are, your world is yours. This is the thing about money. Money gets shit done on the material plane. So anybody talking about how money is not a good thing, or they just got an improper relationship to the material existence. And lastly, the only people who have a problem with making money are people that don't make money. The only people who have a problem even with sales and shit like that are people who don't really make money, or slave-minded people. And I tell my highest level clients this all the time. People have an issue with quote-unquote sales, but nobody realizes that they always just buy shit. It's the same consumer people who are always buying shit, who have to be sold something, right? To buy something, it has to be sold. Buying and selling are the opposite ends of the same table. It's an exchange, right? So people who have an issue with quote unquote sales, you're just weird. You must have an issue with personally making money, or you simply have a mindset full of bullshit beliefs where you just don't believe you could make money, and those people make money, those types of people make money, and what's up? It's hustler's mindset, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you are, your world is yours. The best part about it is understanding that it's not scams, it's not sales, it's getting shit done. Money is the product and the result and the outcome and the tangible representation of getting shit done on the material plane. You can't just sit back and talk about meta, spirits, all this other shit. Like, what the fuck is that? We live in a material world that needs addressing. And yeah, there are problems that money can't solve, but there are definitely problems that only money can solve. And the greatest thing about YWY is that we aim and seek and have and do and solve all of the problems. We don't just solve problems that money can't solve. And you don't just solve problems that money can solve and go as unresolved, unreconciled individuals. All areas of existence. Self-mastery only success, evolution only solution. You know, a lot of people, like I said in any of my other videos, have been born and psychologically put in a place where they believe themselves to move as slaves. You know, they don't believe that they are these types of people. They believe what they appear to be necessitates what they need to be. And once you recognize that slavery has been decentralized and that all souls are free to be as they wish to be, it's a different world, homie. They say they know the Matrix, but they ain't really living that. And the beautifulest thing, the most beautiful thing about this is that, one, I didn't just jump in this to become financially wealthy. I've always been this individual. I've always been this individual who was always about improving the humans around me, improving the human condition, which is one of the greater places and spaces to be. Now, a lot of people can try to imitate, a lot of people can try to copy, but the thing about it, it lacks the authenticity and it lacks the sincerity. And above all, you can't just become a superior conductor overnight. This discipline, what it takes to become what we are, can't be bought, and it has to happen through years of extremely absolute sincerity to the purpose and to the cause. And that's why people who actually are all about the money never have money, because they never understand the value of truly mastering and pursuing things for quality assurance and depth of experience, as opposed to simple acquisition. The best people who have the most tend to be the most and are the most because they didn't need to have in order to be. So whatever you are, your world is yours. You see me all over the world. You know, right now we in London on particular business. I just love money. Like, you know, I love money for what it could do. It does the beautiful things, and it's just little tokens and representations of value, you know. So, you know, niggas ain't gonna get me out here fucked up. I'm saying, we in London, you know, we worldwide with it. We free. The beautiful thing about being a free individual, and on top of that, a free black man in this world. Oh man, I love this shit so much, bro. And the problem is, you're not free. Why aren't you free? Because you haven't learned what you need to learn, and you don't think on the level you need to think. And if you need further explanation, then get your ass on the program. But hey, if you okay being centralized, being placed in a local place and moving boxes, I don't know what your psyche is on, homie, but I'm here to liberate the people. I'm here to liberate the decentralized slaves, you feel me? Consider the vibrations raised. Evolution only solution, self-mastery only success. And underneath all of this is true superior conduct, being a superior servant, being a superior person with superior integrity, serving and giving and offering and building and delivering to the world improvement. The true nature of the greatest human is a master improver. A master improver. How are you going to go into the world and improve the world better than it already is? These are the greatest people, the champions of humanity. not those who simply seek to procure their own personal creature comforts, gratifications, and become complacent and complicit in stagnation. Nah, because that was the beginning of this message, wasn't it? The idea that money for most people is simply a means of securing and procuring creature comforts. And when you become a transcended individual, as within Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and you transcend the first level of self-actualization and you get into meta needs, you no longer need money or material or food at that level. Meaning, the more food you have, the more things you have, it doesn't affect you, because you no longer need those things to feel psychically gratified. You realize there is no intrinsic value. There's not enough food in the world for you to consume or taste that's going to bring you true soul satisfaction. What happens is you transcend into what are known as the meta needs. And this is why I tell everybody on my program, we become meta humans. You know, it's becoming beyond transcendence. So once you get into the transcended state where you're no living in survival, and you need food, and you need belonging, and you need all this self-esteem and recognition, you get past all of that. But you have to go through all the levels, and you have to at first and then the least secure and procure your own self-esteem and your own self-acceptance and your own self-actualization and your own self-prestige. And once you get all the accolades, then you can be like, man, fuck this shit. None of this shit matters. Because it doesn't. At the end of the day, the true satisfaction is in the production. The true satisfaction is in becoming a master improver of the existential conditions of others. Everybody who ever made it big in life was a master improver. And you can't improve nothing greater than you can improve yourself. So go out there and recognize that self-improvement through mentorship and guidance like this, research and development of yourself like this, is what's going to get you to that next level. You know, a lot of people could get on here and recite whatever they heard in a book or whatever they heard on the internet. Very few people, if many, are actual geniuses. And when they do show themselves to maybe be geniuses, even fewer have the degree of superior conduct that I move with, and that people who are of my background, my mentors, my teachers, the school of philosophy that I come from, who are actually personifications of true integrity. Consider the vibrations raised. Evolution only solution, self-mastery only success. Who you gonna listen to? The losers?